What is up, team? It's your boy Sledge from the SledgeInc team, back with another video. And today, we gonna be reacting to credit card YouTuber Anthony Venture reacting to the devaluation of the Capital One Venture X card. And you know over here at SledgeInc, we get straight to business, so let's get to it.
One of the biggest nerfs of all time has just hit the Capital One Venture X this morning, where some people are actually deciding to either downgrade, cancel, and just say that this is the unfortunate end of the Capital One Venture X.
My guy said the unfortunate end is over for the Venture X. He started it off with a bang. The Venture X card is now over, according to my guy, Anthony Venture.
So what am I talking about? Well, as of June 3rd, just this morning, Capital One is changing lounge access policies for the worse. Because this new language has just appeared that states that beginning February 1st, 2026, Venture X and Venture X Business card holders lounge access for additional card holders, including authorized users, which I am, and account managers will change. After this date, no additional card holders will receive complimentary lounge access, meaning the
Well, I guess you got until February, February 1st, 2026. Authorized users of the Venture X card are going to be losing lounge access. But is that something that we didn't think might happen? I mean, it had to be in the back of your mind for anybody who got the Venture X card, seeing that every other, what they call premium travel card, or in this case, Capital One's top travel card, because I never really saw the Venture X as a premium card. I saw it as a good travel card, a very good travel card, but I never saw it as a premium card. I think people thought it was a premium card or look at it as a premium card because Capital One has airport lounges per se. But if you had an airport lounge to any card, does that make it a premium card? In my opinion, no.
Authorized users that you get on your Venture X, all of those authorized users, myself included, will no longer receive complimentary lounge access. And if they want to add in lounge access, primary card holders can now add that additional lounge access to those card holders by paying an additional $125.
If you think about it, paying $125 to be an authorized user on the Venture X, is it really that bad? Is it really that bad? Just think about it. Is it really that bad? The American Express Platinum card, each authorized user is $195. I'm not sure what it is on the Chase Sapphire Reserve, but I'm pretty sure there's a fee. There is a fee. So being an authorized user on travel cards like this is nothing out of the normal. But I can understand where people come from when it was free before and then you got to pay. When it was free before, but then you got to pay. But think about the time that you got in free before by just being an authorized user on a Capital One Venture X card. Not the Venture card. I got the Venture card. I have the regular Venture card and it's trash.
Per card. They mentioned here this.
It's not just trash. It's trash. Do your research on the regular Capital One Venture card being trash.
Significant loss for those with Venture X because authorized users will no longer have complimentary lounge access. Instead, they need to pay the $125 for the privilege. So that's right. For me, $125 to be an authorized user, especially if you're somebody who's going to use lounge access, I don't really think that's that terrible. Is it bad because you didn't have to pay it before? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sure there's people who had their entire family on as authorized users for the Venture X card. And now those people are going to be very disappointed that some of y'all calling y'all family right now. Well, they have until
next year, February of next year. But man, some of y'all family members and friends are going to have a sad face when y'all got to break this news to them.
Authorized user under my good friend Calby and G's Venture X, starting February 1st, 2026, I will no longer have access to Capital One lounges and even Priority Pass lounges. And even beyond that, the old rules stated that...
I'm sorry, man. Wait a minute. They are taking away access to Priority Pass lounges as well. That's insane. And you can get Priority Pass. You can get Priority Pass lounge access with a Happy Meal. I'm sorry.
I have access to that and one guest, so me and my wife. So now being an authorized user, not only does she not get access, but I also no longer have access in and itself. And this basically spells...
Man, if Anthony wasn't my guy, man, I would be tripping. But that's correct. That is kind of, I mean, like I say, for people who got it for free, I could understand. But anybody who picks up the Venture X going forward after these changes that didn't know about these changes is probably not even going to be a big deal for them.
I would say one of the biggest nerfs that the Venture X has ever held. Because one of the main things that people mention when they get the Venture X card, they're like, okay, $300 travel credit, anniversary miles, for free authorized users that get their own additional lounge access. How many families are out there right now that have 4 people that need to have authorized users to get all that lounge access? And now,
Anthony's 100% right about that. There are people who depend on a card like this for lounge access, but as I was saying before, pretty much every card that they classify as a premium card, you have to pay for authorized users, and those authorized users cannot give someone else access to the lounges.
well, as it states, you basically can add 4 authorized users for free, but if you want them to come into the lounge with you, now you got to pay $125 per person, aka an extra $500 per year to have you and your family or whoever your authorized users be able to enter lounges. Whereas for the past few years, as this card has been out, you never had to pay for their lounge access whatsoever. So this is why a lot of people have gotten this card, because of the large amount of access of lounges that gives you access to, and the fact that there's...
The only thing, the one thing that I gotta point out about it is, like I say, there's cards that can get you Priority Pass access, but as far as Capital One lounges, how many are there? 3? I think there are 3. I think it's 3 lounges. I think they have 3 lounges. So it's not like you already had a large network of lounges with Capital One lounges. But I still understand what you're saying. If you want to go to Priority Pass lounges. But like I say, if you travel domestically, in my opinion, Priority Pass lounges are going to be my very last resort to get into, because Priority Pass lounges in the United States, for the most part, are trash.
No annual fees for those authorized users, whereas everybody else, like Chase and Amex and what have you, all actually do charge for authorized users. So I think this is going to be one of the biggest pain points for the Venture X going forward. And if you look on this red thread right here that was posted just 3...
He just pointed out the point that I said. The other cards already charge for authorized users.
hours ago, you could see some of the language from a private email from Capital One over to this cardholder. And they mentioned the exact thing we just saw earlier, including guests of Venture X cardholders will also no longer receive complimentary access to Priority Pass lounges. At that time, Venture X primary cardholders and eligible additional cardholders can bring guests to Priority Pass lounges at a rate of $35 each per visit. So not only is it the authorized users getting nerfed, it's also the primary cardholder as well. As they mention right here, guests of the Venture X cardholder. So if you're traveling with your spouse and you only own a Venture X,
$35.
you no longer can get her in completely for free to Priority Pass lounges directly. And if you want to bring, your spouse,
you gotta pay $35
Pass lounge, now it's $35 each per visit, which is...
We're talking about $35. We're talking about $35. I paid to get in lounges. I paid to get in Admirals Club, but when I didn't have access to Admirals Club, and I think that was $59 to get in. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was $59 for a day pass. So that gets you in when you go to the airport that you're departing from, and then to your connection So yeah, I paid for day passes with for the Admirals Club. But yeah, I think it was like $59. I think it was $59. But I don't think $35 is too bad. And the real reason I don't think $35 is too bad, because for people who have the Venture X, they really need to think about this. If you pay for a priority pass membership, whether it be the lowest or the highest membership, your guest has to pay $35 to get in. The highest membership is $469. This doesn't include anything but a priority pass membership with unlimited access. You can't bring a guest in there with that membership without paying $35.
Oh, that's a gut punch. Absolutely, for a lot of people who have the Venture X. And as the first comment on this Reddit thread states, the party is over. Now, before we look at some of the comments from everyone else in the community, I wanted to also say, like, I'm usually not a doom and gloom type person. I usually like to look at the bright side.
Look at the bright side.
If you want to be an optimist in this situation, I think the main thing is, well, I guess this is solving the overcrowding issue, right? Because if you have...
Absolutely. I think people who actually, a lot of people who pay for the Venture X, they pay the $395 for the Venture X, and they may be solo travelers. Or they might be somebody who just comes with their kid or their wife or their girlfriend or husband or, whoever. When they get there and there's a waiting list, the only time I was ever at an airport, let me take that back. The only time I ever tried to get into a Capital One lounge was at DFW. That lounge had a waiting list. I didn't wait because I also have the American Express Platinum card. Now, I don't have the Venture X. Like I say, I have the Venture card. And at that time, before they nerfed that one, you got 2 accesses. You got 2 times to go into a Capital One lounge. And one of those times, and the only time that I was able to go, there was a wait list. So I left. But you think about it. If you can bring in 4 people, your authorized user can bring in 4 people. You got 4 authorized users that can bring in 4 people. That's just going to cause crowding in the lounge. Like, just face it, that's going to cause crowding in the lounge. And that would be more than any other credit card that allows you to have guests.
Person as a Venture X also has 4 authorized users, and all of those authorized users can also bring a guest in for free.
For sure.
As it was in the past. I mean, that's an additional, I guess, total 9 different people, including the guest on the primary cardholder, that can have access to all of these different lounges completely for free. Now it's going to have to be for a fee. And I think if you're going to...
And because of that $35, a lot of people are not going to be coming into that lounge. It's going to deter a lot of people from coming into the lounge.
Optimist and looking on the bright side, it's going to be overcrowding, but that hurts everybody in the community who has ever gotten a Venture X, because that is probably 30% of the value of the card stripped away right then and there. I would say even more probably what some people would say, but I'm trying to be...
Okay, I'm looking at it like this. If the card is $395 and you get a $300 travel credit, every year you get a $300 travel credit, I still think that it's still a good card. Like I say, people who get the card going forward that didn't know about these changes, I think they would still think that they're getting a lot out of this card.
Sure. Now let's see some of the comments on this Reddit thread here, and then a couple other ones.
So I guess we go on to Reddit now.
On YouTube that I thought were interesting. Some people mentioned that it really doesn't matter that much because they never end up flying or going near any priority pass lounges anyway. This person recounting the new 100.
Did you hear that? This person don't go to priority pass lounges. And I think you should stay away from them too.
$5 extra fee.
I'm just joking. If the priority pass lounge is my only option, I'm definitely going in there.
For lounge access for authorized users. This guy, Man Lizard, said that's the more ridiculous part to me. That's insane. I have to pay extra for my wife to get into a lounge. Now, when we both use X as our primary card, this guy...
I don't understand why it's ridiculous to have to pay for the guest. Like, I just don't understand why that's ridiculous. Even if that guest is your wife. Because with other premium cards, you have to do the same thing. And if you buy a membership, you still have to pay for the guests to come in the lounge. I just don't see why that is ridiculous. People just don't want to pay for it.
The call and complain. This guy mentions, I guess your wife can open her own Venture X. I mean, it technically still pays for itself. Here's the...
Did you hear what he said? I guess your wife can open up her own Venture X. There you go. And if she don't want to open it up, pay the $35 to get in the lounge. Oh my God, it's $35, guys. We talking about $35. Do your research on $35.
Full write-up of the terms. So primary cardholders can pay an annual lounge access fee of $125 per additional cardholder to maintain their lounge access. This will grant them access to Capital One lounges, Capital One Landing, and Priority Pass lounges. In order to grant a Priority Pass Select membership to additional cardholders, primary cardholders will need to pay the annual lounge access fee, and additional cardholders will still need to re-enroll. All Priority Pass Select membership card.
Now, the re-enroll part, having a re-enroll in Priority Pass, that's kind of irritating. I don't know why you just can't. If you're the primary cardholder, why would you have to re-enroll?
Physical and digital, previously issued.
Maybe I'm hearing that wrong.
Which I do have, will expire on February 1st, 2026, regardless of the expiration.
Everybody who is an authorized user on these cards, go ahead and get your travel on now. Go ahead and get your travel on now.
Listed on the card. Oh man. This guy right here mentions what I said is the only silver lining, which would be, I'm okay with it if it means I can get into the lounge every time. The guests and authorized users were contributing to overcrowding. The lounges are really good. I can get the value back in a couple of visits. I'm assuming this will mean less children in the lounge too. I respect parents, but as a dude with no kids, I welcome this change.
You hear that? It's going to be a lot of people who feel the same way. That's the way I feel. The less people in the lounge, the better for me. And if you giving out free authorized user, and then they can bring 4 guests, and their guests can bring 4 guests, and another authorized user can bring 4 guests, man, it's just too many people in the lounge that's branching off of one card. That's branching off one card. You talking about if all 4 of the people that you give authorized user cards to can bring somebody. Well, not 4 guests a piece. They're getting 1 guest in a piece. Man, that's a lot of people. like that is a lot of people. So, yeah, to me, I'm with them cutting that down.
And yeah, I agree with this guy. They should at least allow 1 extra guest when traveling with a primary cardholder. I mean, that's like one of the major flaws in a lot of these different lounges. It's like, if I have an Amex Platinum card and I want to get into either Delta Sky Club or Centurion Lounge, me as the primary cardholder, I can get in for free. But my wife, who I want to bring into these lounges, has to pay upwards to $50 per visit just to have access to that lounge with me. And one of the main benefits. Actually,
Centurion Lounge, you can't pay to get in. You used to good. You can't pay to get in. But my thing is, make your wife an authorized user, Tony. Make your wife an authorized user on the Amex Platinum card, and she can get in every time. Unfortunately, I have my wife and my 2 youngest kids as authorized user on my Amex Platinum, and I pay way too much for it. I pay way too much for it. But I also have the City AA because I fly American as well. I also have the City AA Executive card for $195. You get 3 authorized users. So they can go into that lounge when they not flying with me, when they flying solo and things like that. And that $195 covers everybody for the whole year. So, well, of course, except for me because I'm the primary user. But yeah, there are ways around it. But sometimes you got to pay.
So the Venture X is just, yes, you could bring you and your spouse in completely for free. And now that is also even going away. So I just think, I could see them nerfing all of the priority passes on the authorized users, but the fact that you're actually getting rid of it for the primary cardholders guest as well is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy.
I think you're taking it personal, Tony. I think you're taking it personal. It's a business. This is a business move for them. I'm pretty sure Capital One has got so many complaints about these lounges being overcrowded. You know what I mean? And for the overall, for their business, I can understand why they're doing it, and I can understand why they're keeping spouses out unless that spouse pays, because there's no financial benefit to them. You got to understand, this is a bank. A bank is the only purpose of a bank is to make money. Like, that's their only purpose. And if they can charge you for something, they absolutely will. And you know what they did? They threw that fish net out there and they reeled in so much stuff. They reeled everybody in because some people are going to cancel, some people aren't.
Easy. So, and I also did a post on YouTube that actually shared this news, and some people had some things to say. L-Man Gaming mentions it's all downhill from here.
Man, doom and gloom.
This guy Matt here says something interesting, which is another line in the sand to force one to choose one premium card ecosystem compared to being able to justify having toes in your water of the Venture X, CSR, Platy, etc., etc. So it's not choosable.
You don't have to choose between one premium card. And like I say, I never thought of the Venture X as a premium card, but it's up to you. Like, that is up to you. It's up to, I think that people look at these cards in a way as if they want this card to be a premium card, they don't want the average credit card user is not the person that they're looking for, right? They not somebody who don't want to pay $35 to get into a lounge, somebody that wouldn't pay $125 for an authorized user. That's not the customer that they're targeting with this card. You know, you get it because you look at the access that you can get with it, but you're not the customer that they're targeting with. You're not the customer that they're targeting if $125 for an authorized user or $35 to get in the lounge is going to bother you.
Ecosystem instead of being
just my opinion.
Cesar Joel mentions that it lost what made the card great, and Texas Dog mentioned, if I have to pay for my wife to enter the lounge, the perk isn't worth it to me. And but
I think that's it's gonna open up the lounge for more people. And guess what? A lot of people that complain about it, they're gonna still keep the card.
As I've said, I think this is a really huge reason why a lot of people have gotten the Venture X in the first place. I mean, people really love the $300 annual travel credit. It's very easy to use, very simplistic, it's powerful, and the 10,000 bonus anniversary miles. And
I didn't even mention that. You get 10,000 anniversary miles every year. 10,000 on top of the $300 travel credit.
Yes, you can get that annual fee down, and it can be worthwhile. But with the fact that one of the major perks to this card, and why most people have all said, like, why they got a Venture X in the first place, and in true American Express fashion, they now have a $75,000 spending requirement each calendar year to be able to bring guests in for free at all.
What did I just say? They're not targeting people. They're not targeting the average person. Look at that. If you spend $75,000, you can bring a guest in for free. With the Venture X, just like with the Amex Platinum, just like with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, yes, us regular people do and can get these cards, but we are not the people that they are targeting with these cards.
These different lounges. And, we have seen this 75K number, I think, on 3 different issuers as of now, I believe. And I guess one little caveat here that NerdWallet found is Capital One Venture X Rewards credit card holders, so the personal version, will also lose complimentary access for guests to lounges in the Priority Pass network. However, the Capital One Venture X business card holders will not be affected and will still be able to bring 2 guests in for free.
And that makes sense.
Priority Pass lounges.
And I think it makes sense. I mean, you think about the Capital One Venture X business card, even a sign-up bonus. Sometimes you have to spend like 30 grand in order to get the sign-up bonus. So they're looking at those people as very heavy spenders. So they're rewarding those people, those card holders, by giving them, giving their authorized users access to the lounges.
How long will that reign true?
On top of, a lot of business travelers are going to be traveling solo anyway.
Who knows? I mean, I guess they see the business owners, charging way more to their cards. Maybe that's why. It's a little bit more of an incentive to push them on that end. And honestly, for those who've been in this game for the past year or two, you've seen so many different little changes here and there, not just the Venture X, like, oh, we're taking away Hertz Presidential and now it's permanent, or like changes of the portal credit many years ago. Even the $95 Venture card, losing lounge access as well, just like a year or two ago, and a few other...
Did I mention that the regular Venture card is trash? Yeah, I do have that card, but it's trash.
Things, and we've seen so many changes on so many different credit card issuers. It's more of a reminder to just kind of use these cards, use the value that come from them, see where they make sense, and be really conservative in your valuations, because things really do change over time. And it also means that it's not the end of the world, right? The Venture X is still a great card for what it is without all of the lounge access. Even though it was a huge part of what people loved about them, you can still love the Venture X over time. And it just means that you have to be more and more flexible to all of these changes and be able to move and shake where things make sense and where they don't make sense. So if this...
In the end, the Venture X is still a good card, but that card is intended for the people that it's intended for. Losing lounge access for authorized users, yes, it does suck. If you have a spouse or a girlfriend or a husband or a boyfriend or whatever you travel with your friends and you gave them authorized user card, is it gonna suck that they don't have access anymore? Absolutely. Is it the end of the world? No. Those people can apply for their own card. Those people can pay $35 to get in the Priority Pass lounge with you. I'm not even sure how much it costs to get into a Capital One, or if you can pay to get in with somebody. But yeah, it's not the end of the world. And y'all know how it go, man. It's your boy Sledge from the SledgeInc team. We gonna be back with more reaction videos.